We've opened up a bit bloody. It's fine. A lot of people are fearful, uncertain right now. A lot of people are doubtful right now. What's the market going to do? So a lot of people have to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is go back to and look at your candle with a monthly time scale. Things change a little bit. What you'll notice is we actually went to a particular level on the monthly candle, which was good enough, right? Good enough. That $66,000 level, 66,500, whatever you want to call it, was a good enough level for us to actually kind of break the trend, almost, right? However, obviously we dumped a little bit. Absolutely fine. We dumped today, not an issue at all. What you need to be noticing is how the market was shaken out. A lot of people are being shaken out, but this is a restart because we actually have 4 more weeks to prove something, right? And let me explain this to you properly, right? So if you look at things on a quarterly basis, right? So January to March, and then, you know, April to whatever, and then whatever to October, right? You have these 3-month segments. And what we've had now is another quarter, the third quarter close, right? Did it close negative? Technically, yes. However, it's on a positive candle, even though the candle wasn't good enough to invalidate the previous month candle. But we're looking at monthly candles, guys. Monthly candle doesn't necessarily have to be a super bullish candle. Believe me, it doesn't have to be. It's the weekly ones that count. And so far, when I move into the weekly, I see 3 green candles, which push the market up above the $63,000 level. In fact, that's exactly where we found resistance today, right? Support today, actually, when we bled about 3%. Now, what a lot of people forget to realize, $66,000 level, from that point, if you pump 3%, that's 69K. That's your market validation. That's your trend invalidation. What I mean about that, we have a larger time scale, larger time frame trend line on the weekly. And if we go to 68, 69K, it actually invalidates it. So, you know what? We didn't go 3% up. It's fine. We opened the month. We opened the week technically, and we're going to close the month 3% down. So what? Right? So what? Look at the bigger picture. So the way I see it is, I think this, like today, tomorrow, maybe, you know, possible, right? Within the next 48 hours is quite crucial, but doesn't really matter because 9 hours the candle closes anyway. The monthly candle closes. And I think even if we're negative, it doesn't really make much of a difference as long as we don't take out the entire candle and the one before that as well, right? So as long as we can stay above the 58, 59, 60K level, we're fine. As far as I'm concerned, we are absolutely fine. Now, what I would be concerned is if we go back to the, let me tell you what level it was. If we go back to the 55K, 54K, I'll be concerned, because that's when I'll start looking at the market in a complete different light, and I'll probably even start thinking about the lower levels, right, where I would find my supports. However, where we are right now, I'm not concerned. 60K, we're fine. 63K, brilliant. 62K, brilliant. To be honest, right, these numbers are absolutely fine, but I don't think we're going to stick around there. I think 63K, where we held the current support, is brilliant. It's absolutely fine. This gives us a stronger support zone because we've had tested this particular area multiple times before breaking past, right? So previous resistance became our support right now. And if we find support along this area multiple times, again, it becomes a very strong support zone, right? Which a lot of people may not understand. Today, tomorrow, you know, in the future, this is a significant area. This is a very important area. So the more we can come down to this level, test it and bounce back up again, this becomes important. And what I mean by that is, a lot of you guys understand this, right? When the market decides to end, I usually like to throw numbers and say, well, this is probably where the market will bottom at some stage in the future. I'll probably say this. And that's when I will turn around and use this 63K level as a guideline to where I think the probable bottom may be, because again, previously we've kind of predicted the numbers and we went down. Of course, there was only one number we didn't capture, which was the 13,800, right? I did mention that, but we didn't get that. However, every other level that we mentioned, all the way up to 15.5K, we did get, right? So think about that. Those numbers were valid, right? So just missed one. So what? Right? I'm not really that bothered. So think about it that way. Now, the game plan is, if the market, right? So we have 9 hours. to close the month, which is fine, absolutely fine. This 9 hours, if we did close on a positive note and the candle was higher or level to the previous candle. So when we're looking at the height of the candle, right, the body of the candle, if it is the exact same height or above, that is super freaking bullish. This means the third quarter of this year is going to be insane, and we could potentially see a new all-time high, right? However, now that if the body is a slightly below, it's still bullish. Don't panic, still bullish. That means we may face a little bit more resistance along the line, right, as we move up, and we have to then worry about taking out the 69K level, because that becomes an important factor. And if we don't take it by the end of October, we have a problem, because that means the next 2 months is not going to do anything. It doesn't even matter if we're positive, if we're 67K by the end of October, it doesn't matter, right? Because the trend was never invalidated. So we can have an entire 4 weeks and never invalidate that trend line. And then the last few months remaining in the quarter could potentially turn into quite bearish, right? And there are multiple factors, again, macro factors, right, which a lot of people kind of miss out. I mean, what comes after December, right? You know, December's a year end, right? Again, holidays, expenses, what people spend, and then you've got tax returns and XYZ. And it doesn't matter whether it's this country or another country, you know, people have to worry about paying the taxes and all the bills and whatnot, that, you know, and you have to start planning. So again, market can show signs of a little bit of bearishness, because people have to cash out, people have to pay all of these things. So it's a whole different macro factor, but we're not talking about this, just looking at how the market structure works. So obviously I'm basing this on the charts, and I'm saying if we don't do something fantastic and go and invalidate the 69K within the entire month of October, it's not good for us, right? That means the next 2 months I could expect some bearishness. Even if we have a nice little pump up, I don't think it's going to be significant. But that's just me, giving you my 2 cents, right? But where I am right now, the game plan is good. I don't see a problem. I think this is an opportunity to buy the dip. And as I said, 9 hours from now is very important, right? So I know a lot of you guys may be thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about 9 hours? It's actually not even 9 hours. It's actually 8 hours and 20 minutes approximately. 9 hours and 20 minutes for me approximately, because currently the time is 3:40 p.m. here in the UK. My charts usually reset at 1 a.m. Until the British summertime changes. Then I'm at 12 a.m. again, right? So it will be between 8 hours and 20 minutes or 9 hours and 20 minutes, whichever one is there. So you can just convert that into US time, or Eastern Standard Time, or whatever you want, right? But the point is that's what I have until the month closes, and that's where I would love to see something crazy happen. Do we have a potential of something crazy happening? I think we can, because we're actually holding that support. We haven't lost it. And remember, even if we lose it, right, we can actually go all the way down to 60K and we'll still be fine. It will still be a higher low, right? So mathematically it will be a positive number, even on a negative, right? So you got to think about the market, as I said, on a bigger time scale, larger time frames. Of course, why are we bleeding out? I'll tell you why we're bleeding out. We're overbought, super overbought on the 3-day candles. We're super overbought on the daily candles. Hey guys, they need to reset. People need to take a breather, right? You can't just be trading up all day long, right? Sometimes you got to take profits, come back in, rinse and repeat, and do it all over again, right? So that's what's happening right now. All right. However, of course, the monthly also plays into it. So we are seeing these monthly data. I know a lot of people are going to come in, throw some news out there. A lot of the pros out there, the gurus out there will come out and throw big numbers. Oh, we're going to see a 300K, 400K, 500. Forget that. It doesn't matter. Listen, if you got BTC, right? If you own 10%, 20%, 30%, right? Or even 1% of a BTC, do you really care? If we go to 500K, if you go to $1 million, right? If you're planning to hodl that, do you really care? Of course not. But if you're putting some money down and you're like, okay, I want to make a little bit quick money within a week, within 2 weeks, whatever, maybe a day, whatever, you're a day trader, then you worry about the numbers, right? That's when the numbers matter to you. But if you're holding on to BTC, 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever, of a BTC, if not a whole one, right? And you're holding it for a year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, what I normally recommend. So you're not holding it. Sorry, you're holding it. What difference does it make if it goes to $1 million? it doesn't make any difference, right? Because the number doesn't reflect on what your plans are. Your plans are to hodl this, fine, you hodl this and you move forward. So of course, I'm not going to give you any financial advice here. That's not my job, right? But the game plan for me is that I might see it. I'm actually looking at this and I'm thinking, this is a great opportunity. The next 9 hours for me is a great opportunity. So I'll probably stay up until 1 a.m. today to see where the candle closes, because that's when I want to enter. Right now, whether I short the market or long the market, it's a whole different story. But I feel that there's a great opportunity from where we are right now to actually re-enter the market and play for a little bit until the end of October. Of course, my only advice to every single person here would be, guys, if you do enter a trade or if you do buy some or whatever, please, right, do your due diligence, do your risk management, make sure that you have some form of a stop loss or a plan strategy that, okay, if the market goes south, right, I need to exit, right? Because right now where we are, anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. As I said, if the candle for the monthly was slightly higher or level, my God, that would have been a blind entry. You go in, you don't even think about it, you're going to make money, right? But because where we are currently and the 9 hours remaining, which I don't know what's going to happen, right? You got to have that plan, that strategy. Is like, okay, look, I could lose 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, whatever. You make that plan, right? So the game plan for me is I am thinking about going back in, but 9 hours from now, I will definitely go in and then see where the market leads. It doesn't even matter. I don't even care where the candle closes, because where we are right now, that 63k or 63,500, whatever you want to call it. In fact, I have a number, 63,388. That's my line. As long as we're above that, I'm super bullish, right? I'm super bullish. I think that there may be a chance, because we're so close, guys. 3% down, so what? Right? Because you're forgetting 3% up would have actually taken out the entire market's negativity and given us bullishness, right? Also, if you look at the fear and greed index, it's at 50-50. Guys, nobody's greedy and nobody's, fearful. The market's actually, right now, market is undecided. Right? So, yes, there's a bit of greed in the market, but I think there's room for a bit more. Right, if that makes sense, right? So this is just me giving you my 2 cents, right? But as I said, my plan is that I think is going to be an opportunity to re-enter the market, play the market for a little bit. But of course, I'm going to have, I'm going to look at the market like a hawk, right? I'm going to keep a very watchful eye on it until the end of October, or at least the middle of October, because that's when I can actually start making a decision that, hold on, if the market's not doing anything important by the middle of October, well, what's it going to do at the end of October? It doesn't matter anymore, right? So I'm going to have to take baby steps right now. Believe me, baby steps. But so far, the structure is looking good, right? So I wouldn't panic. This 3%, I believe, is an opportunity, right? Because we're so close, guys. We're so close. That's the reason why. If we were any lower, then yeah, I'll panic a little bit, right? But right now, not too bothered, honestly. I think the market's in a great position, currently sitting at 63,800. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This is not a problem at all. In fact, where we had our rejection, at that point, there was a line. I actually still have the line. It's 65,495. I think I have shared it on Discord. So guys, if you want to see some of the charts that I sometimes publish, some of the lines and this and that, in fact, my lines haven't changed for a few years now. It's the exact same lines. I did mention something on Discord and I said, guys, the lines don't lie, or something in that line. I can't remember what it was. In fact, my Discord, I don't even know what's wrong. It's bugging out on me. But I think it's to do with an app that I installed. It's like a security. There's a bit of a security issue where the Google doesn't like the app that I have, but the app actually protects me. So it's weird stuff. Anyway, but I've noticed some of the apps don't work properly. So I don't really care, right? Anything that I think is messing around, I don't really care. But point is it's doing its thing, and 65,500 was technically a resistance area. Yes, we blipped up, we went up there, and then we came back down again. So I'm going to just shift over to the daily candles just to kind of talk about this, right? So we've had about 4 days ago, we actually went to 66,524. However, that was just a blip because it was a wick. On a daily, it was a wick. It wasn't even the body. Now, the body did come back down, right, and did test the 65,495, to be precise, tested it, and it couldn't hold. And then obviously last night it flipped. It just went bearish. But when it fell down, it actually went to the 63,388. And you're probably wondering, like, hold on, this guy's talking about numbers. Is it true? I'll show you, right? So this will kind of make sense. So if you look at my chart, that's the candle I'm talking about 4 days ago, right? 4 days ago, you can see the numbers. And then this is where we actually flipped. And you can see 63,388 and 65,495. And the high was 66,524. So guys, numbers up. These are actual numbers on the chart that play, right? So, you know, and they're technically to do with the history, right? Or, you know, the past, right? Where we've had significant data. I've talked about it many times. I'm not going to talk about it again. But as I said, this is my game plan. I think this is a great opportunity for us to actually start moving back up again and test the 68K, 69K. That's a very important level, by the way. You know, the entire market, we could have a single candle shoot us 5 to 10K. I'm not even joking. We could have a candle that shoot us 5 to 10K if we go past that 68, 69K. That's like a mental block on us, right? We need to break that blockage and we need to move up. Then the entire market becomes bullish. Until then, it's not bullish at all, right? You know, because the data doesn't lie. It's the patterns. You've got to look at the patterns, right? And of course, you're probably thinking about, okay, you know, this guy's talking about monthly stuff. Where is he getting his data from? I'll show you the monthly as well, so that way you don't have to doubt what I'm saying. So this is the monthly, and this is the situation we've got, right? So this is the body of the candle, as you can see. Yes, we had a wick, brilliant, but the body hasn't gone level or above the previous red candle. If it does, then things change. And as you can see, if you put a diagonal line from here to here, you know, you can see that there's a trend and we haven't really invalidated that trend. And that's on a monthly, right? Just to show you, this is monthly, right? So what we need is this data to change for us and become a little bit more positive, because if it does, then things get really, really interesting. So other than that, guys, thank you very much for coming to the show. My name is Sham. This is 0x5. The truth is always out there, as I've always said. And I am going to mix up my videos a little bit. I might start talking about a few other stuff. There are some current affairs, current issues, I should say. I might start talking about them. For example, in the UK, driving has become a pain in the butt, right? You know, also, currently UK is becoming a third world country. Let's just put it this way. Economically, it's not doing well. Our political system's messed up, right? The country's in shit, right? You know, there's so many different things, and I might start talking about those. So if you do happen to come across one of those videos, take it with a pinch of salt. They're going to be mostly my opinions, but the things that I see, I will definitely talk about it. So other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.